Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be showing you how you can scrape Zillow daily and get new listings for a specific area automatically using N8N. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so this is what the workflow looks like. We have a scheduled trigger that's going to go off every day. We're going to get the Zillow data, we're going to process it, we're going to turn that data into an email, and then we're going to send that email to client. So let's run this workflow and let's show you what it looks like. So I got the data, processed it, and then sent me an email. So I just got the email. As you can see, it's for Manhattan listings. A bit out of my price range, but that's besides the point. Let's get straight into how to make this actually happen. Alright, so to make this flow, here's what we're going to do. We're first going to go to Zillow and figure out how to get the data. To do that, I'm going to show you a little bit of how to scrape data from different websites and how that works. So what I'd like to do is you're going to right click, you're going to click inspect, then you're going to come to network. Let's close this, and you're going to clear this, but you're going to clear this section by clicking this button. Then we're going to search. So let's look for Manhattan. Then you're going to see all these different requests come up with all different data. And I'm just going to let this be here because this doesn't really matter right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for one of the properties that came up. So I'm going to click anywhere, click Command F or Control F for Windows. Then I'm going to look for this address down here. So let's see if we can find the data. So here the data is coming up, but this is not the request we're looking for. If you're familiar with N8N and the way everything works, this is JSON data. However, this is within, if you scroll up, this is within HTML data, and this is like a lot of extra information we don't need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually press and hold this for now because I'm going to go to a different page. I'm going to go to page 2, and the request should come up, and then we can copy paste that request and put that into N8N. So let's do that. So if I come down here, I'm going to clear this, I'm going to clear the results, I'm going to go to page 2. Now on page 2, I'm going to look for a different listing. So let's go 12 East 64th. And as you can see, this is in this async create search page results. And this is all JSON data, which is exactly what we want. So now with this, I'm going to click it, or right click it, copy as curl. Then we're going to come back to N8N. And now in N8N, we're going to create the flow. All right, so let's create the new flow. So we're going to come here, we're going to do schedule trigger. Let's do this every day at noon, or let's say 9 a.m. actually, when the client comes into the office. Then for the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to make an HTTP request, and we're now going to import the curl that we just pasted in from Zillow. So if we go back, if you still have it in your clipboard, that's fine. But again, just right click here, copy as curl. You're going to come here, paste in that curl, and click import. And now N8N has turned that into the exact request that we made in the browser. And then what we're going to want to do is now we're going to want to process that information. But before we do that, let's just test it. So let's run it. It worked successfully. And now if we look at the data, if we go here, close this, it's in, where is it? List results. So yeah, here we go. For sale by agent, $54 million, 12 East 64th Street. So it's working just as expected, which is great. So now we want to process the information. And to do this, we're going to use the code nodes, or we're going to use the code node twice. And it's going to be quite complex. So I'm going to leave the link to the code down in the description, and you guys can copy and paste it as needed. But I'll just show you what it looks like right now. So the first code node that we're going to use to actually process the data, it's going to take in the input from the previous node. It's going to get all the listings from the list results. And then it's going to parse it and pull out the important information, such as the zip code, the address, the price, beds, baths, home type, and address, and other key information such as photos. So, and then it's going to return a list of all of that information. So that's the first code node. So now if we run this again, and we open this, as you can see, now we have an array of 41 items, but it's a lot more structured and it's a lot cleaner, because as you can see, we see beds, baths, area, the home type, and everything. So it's a lot cleaner. But now with this list, we want to turn that into a proper email format, so that if I go back to my email, it's like property 1, and it's like listed nice with the Zillow link, property 2, and so forth. So now we want to format that, and we're going to use another code node to do that. So let's look at that code. All right, so we're here in the second code node, and here's what we're going to do. So we take in the input from the previous node, and we can remove this log since we don't see it. Also remove this, and remove this. So what we're doing is we're formatting it now. So now we return the property index, and computers and code starts at 0. So we just have to do index plus 1 to start at 1. And then we're just gonna do address, price, beds, and so on and so forth. And then we're all just gonna return that. And we have an email body, New York City property listings. And then we join everything and return the email body. So now once we have that set up, we're now ready to send the email. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the Gmail node and we're gonna send a message. Then we're gonna go to message, send, type in the email you wanna send it to. So I'm just gonna send it to this email. I'm gonna say with the subject, new real estate listings for you. We're gonna do text. And then for the message, we're gonna execute the previous nodes and we're just gonna copy and paste this email body in. And then since this is an expression, we can have the email body here and then we could say, hey Ronald, here's your updated list of properties in Manhattan. And then as you can see, we have this New York City property listings and it's all showing up right here, which is great. So let's go to settings and actually, yeah, that should be good. I think we want to add the option and we're going to turn off the append NaN attribution. So now that that's all good to go, we're going to click save. Let's run this. All right, the email is sent. So let's go back to my email. Let's go to this. New real estate listings for you from me. And hey Ronald, here's your updated list of properties in Manhattan. So there you go. That's the entire workflow. Now, of course, you can extend this further. So what you could do is you could have this get multiple property types. So maybe you get Manhattan, you get Brooklyn, you get Queens, you get other cities and towns that you want. And you can combine those all into one list, send that to the client. Maybe you can also filter information. So in this example, like this price was $54 million. So maybe that's out of your client's budget, but this is $725,000. So maybe you have a filter for under $1 million. So of course you can go in and tweak the information as you need. And a big recommendation I have is to use AI to help you do that. So for example, if I come back here and let's say I also wanted to filter the results. So if I open this code node and I take this, I'm just gonna ask AI to, hey, I have this, it gets the property listings and parses them. Now can you also add a filter so that the price is under $1 million? So you can do this with AI, or another option is you can also do it within NaN. As I mentioned, there's two options for the filtering. We can either add the filter node or we can edit the code. I think adding the filter node is a bit easier to see and to do. So let's just do that. So we're gonna come to filter. I'm gonna drag an unformatted price. And I'm gonna say this has to be equal to, or sorry, has to be less than $1 million, is less than 1 million. So think that's 100,000. Let's make that $1 million. So now if you go back, let's clean this up. If you go back and let's rerun it, get the data, filter it. Nice. So now let's look at this. Nice. Okay, so 725,000, 750,000, 152. So as you can see, this took out the result that had like 54 million and the other $1 million properties. So that's another quick way you can add some filtering. So that's it for the workflow. I hope you guys see the power of using NaN for this task. I will say that some APIs will require a little bit more sophistication in the sense that they may block you from just directly calling it without any authentication or anything like that. And if you look at the other videos on my channel, I go over how to bypass that. But this was just a quick video to show